What's going on YouTube? Matt from GarageMC here. Guys, in today's video we went and picked up both of these quads yesterday. This 04250ex and this 05450R. So today we're going to, my hot stapler came in. We're going to fix this plastic over here as good as we can. There's the chunk that's missing. Somebody had this all zip tied together, but I want to get that fixed, and this thing's ready to go, man. We could sell this. Make sure the air's right in the tires, and make sure the fluids are all good, and she can go down the road. So we'll go ride that, see how that go see how that is. And this thing here, I'm going to show you guys where it's leaking, and also somebody cut the front fenders on this, and it just looks like hell. But we're going to ride this today too, so stay tuned. I think I know where to find parts. Right there. Yep. Fenders and everything too. Stay tuned, guys. Today's gonna be fun. Alright guys, so like I said, we're gonna see how these plastics come off of here, and we're also going to check out how this plastic hot staple gun works. When we get over to this, we'll open this box and see what it comes with. Before we do that, something else that came in today. I ordered a used FMF full exhaust. It's a Gold Series Fatty for the Trx250R, because that thing still has a stock exhaust on it, and I got a really good deal on this. So if you guys want, wait till the end of the video, and I'm going to show you how I use aluminum brightener on chrome and stuff like this, and how good it actually makes it look without really any scrubbing. So stay tuned if you guys want to see that. Here's I believe this is a Power Core 2. It's missing the sticker that goes on it, but who cares? There's also the trumpet or the horn or whatever the hell they call that for these. So everything came in there except for the springs. That's why in my other videos you guys saw that I had a bunch of springs and stuff from FMF all in the box. So yeah, let's get into figuring out how to take the plastics off of this, and then we'll see how that hot stapler works. All right, guys, I took all the plastics off. This quad was like, it took me like 5 minutes to take all the stuff off, guys. The side panels, these here, they come off first. They have one push pin. They have another one down here that goes here. So 1, 2, and then there's like 3, 4, there's 5 on each side. And then after that, just like on a 400EX, take the gas cap off, and there's same 4 push clips that hold the gas tank cover on. And then the front fender was just plugged in at the headlight, and then underneath the fender you had your typical 10 mil back here, 10 mil here, same on the other side. Came right off. The piece that I thought was missing was still bolted to the bracket. We got it right here. So before I go lining and clamping these up, guys, the first piece that we'll go back on is this piece here. So we'll get that lined up and in place, and then after we put the fenders back on the quad, I'm sure that bracket is probably a little bit bent, so we'll have to just, you know, maneuver that back into place. But before I go plastic welding these together with that hot staple gun, I'm going to clean all the edges of the plastic really good with some awesome degreaser, scrub them for a minute, and then I'll pick back up with you guys. We will unbox that. We'll unbox the hot staple gun, and we'll give it a run. But be sure to stay tuned, guys, because after this, we're going to get the 450R we just got yesterday as well. We're going to fix where the oil leak is. It should be pretty simple, even though I shouldn't say that. I'll probably jinx myself. But we'll fix that. We'll also take that for a ride, and we'll also take this little 250EX for a ride. I know it's only a 250, but I mean, still probably a fun quad, man. It seems it's a little narrow. It's probably pretty tipsy, especially with them big round balloon tires on there. But who knows? Maybe we'll I got some wheel spacers, guys. Depending on how long this video gets, maybe we'll throw some wheel spacers on it real quick just to go mess around, or put some like wider flat tires on the back. Who knows? Probably not, but you know, sounds like a great idea anyway. All right, guys, so here is the hot stapler or bumper repair, plastic repair kit. Had like, you know, 3 different names. Bumper repair / plastic repair / plastic stapler / plastic welder. One of those deals. You get your gun, and the kit that I came with a pair of dikes as well. I'll tell you what these are for in a second. And it also came with a box cutter and obviously this cool little container to keep it all in. All of these staples that come in here are different shapes and styles. The one I'm going to try to use is this one here. I think you get the most reinforcement from this. So if you'll notice on the back of this, there are two little nubs, just like a staple. These are what get inserted to the end of the tip of the gun here, like I have it set up here. You guys can see that. So when you squeeze the trigger, this heats up like a light bulb filament or element, whatever you want to call it. And then you depress it into the back of the plastics. You don't want to do it from the front because you'll definitely see it. So you'll squeeze the trigger, it'll heat up, you'll put it into the plastic, and you only want to go a little bit. Otherwise, if you go all the way like too deep, when you look at the other side of the plastics, you'll see the shape of this staple burned into the plastic. Obviously, it's better looking than the plastics being in several pieces, but you know, this is one of those things where, you know, you can always add more. You can't take it away though. So you want to go just as much as you need to go. So, all right, I got all the plastic all scrubbed and ready to go on the edges. Let's clamp them together and we'll give this thing a shot. I think I got enough of a technique with this thing because I've never used one of these before to share my opinion with you. I feel like it's a pretty strong connection. I put a couple in here just to get it seated and started. So the first one that I put in, I did like across where it was cracked, and then I started doing it like this. But there's something else that I did while I was doing it, and I'll share it with you guys now. I'm not going to show you every one of these staples. I'll just show you how it works real quick, but because I want to get this over with and get to the 450R. So, all right, like I was telling you guys before, you take your staple and the gun. Don't do this with this trigger squeezed, obviously, because this will burn the hell out of you. Push it all the way in until it bottoms out in there. Now, what I had done was I started, I'll start putting the staple to the fender before I even squeeze the trigger. But when I line it up, I'm going to go like kind of, I want it to be center on the crack, but I'm not going to go center at first. I'm going to go like a third of the way off of it, because when it starts heating in, I'm going to push it to halfway so it kind of melts in and then into the plastic as well. So it kind of like locks it in there. So I got myself, I'm holding the piece of plastic together tightly right where I want it to sit. Put it down. And it heats up pretty quick, guys. You can see it already starting to melt in. And then I push it, bang. So now it's down and then in to the other piece of plastic. So it's kind of like locked in. It cools off pretty quick, and then you just pull it right off. That's it. And like I said before, I was going to tell you what the dikes were for. The dikes are for when you're done and this thing is like nice and cooled off. Go ahead and clip all these things off of here. This way you don't like cut yourself on them when you're washing a quad, or if you're like most people that I buy quads from, you just never wash it anyway. So, you know, if you're like that, you're probably not even going to bother fixing the plastics anyway, so there's no point in even talking about that. Anyway, looks pretty good, guys. Like, obviously you could tell it was broken, but it's pretty damn good. And the fender's got some rigidity back to it, and I didn't even put the other piece on there yet. All right, so let me run through this, and then I'll get back with you guys and put these plastics on, and then we'll go take this for a rip, and then we'll get to the good shit, 450R. All right, got the plastics all back on. I think that looks a hell of a lot better than a couple zip ties in it with it overlapping itself. It looked like shit, guys. I bent those brackets back. This one was bent, actually it was bent forward and out. So I had to push it back in and then back to the hole. I put the two holes in, or the two bolts in on this side and the one bolt in on the back side, and then brought the bracket to the mount under here. You guys can see the plastic stitching or welding, whatever slash you want to call it, this, that, whatever. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. You know, if this was like a 250R or something, well, if it was a 250R, I would have just got new plastics, but, you know, if it was something I cared about, and I wasn't going to buy plastics, which kind of is an oxymoron, but I would have took a little bit more time with it. But I think that looks a hell of a lot better than it did. It looked all lopsided and stuff. It was all flimsy. So There's all that. Put all the rest of the plastics back on. Wiped it down with a little original interior shine. What is this stuff called? This stuff, the natural shine. I don't really like using shiny like SC1 and stuff, and then it, you know, whatever. I'm just gonna chain this up and list this one for sale, guys. If you know anybody that wants one of these, they're selling for about $2 grand out here. I'll let this go for $17.50. Come get it. All right, let's go take this thing for a little putt, and then let's get to the 450R because it is freezing, and I'd rather freeze my balls off on a 450R than a 250ex. Let's get out in the woods. Alright guys, here we go. Let's go take this little thing for a ride. There's no clutch. It's just chipped up, all of them. Yeah, yeah, it's tipsy. Thing rips for a 250, man. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Like I said, it'd be cool if it was a little wider, but you know, can't have your cake and eat it too, I guess, huh? Alright guys, I don't want to ride this thing too much, man. I just want to put it up for sale and get rid of this friggin' thing. Like I said, I have no use for this. Not bad though, man. It's not bad for a little 250, guys. You can have fun on this thing too. You don't need a freaking race quad to have fun. Alright guys, I'm gonna chain this thing up for sale. Let's get to the 450R, finally. It's the next day now. You just seen we took the 250ex for a ride yesterday. Like I said, that thing's ready to sell. But let's get into what I wanted to get into. Let's work on this 05 Trx450R. This thing, ice cold, starts right up, guys. Starts right up. Sounds really good too. I wish somebody didn't spray paint the ever-loving shit out of everything on this quad, especially yellow. Like, I mean, it's different, I guess. But when you start the quad, it pisses oil out of right here where the seal is. So, like I said, I didn't want to jinx myself, but probably a really easy fix. So, some of you guys that were watching the last video when I went and bought this on Sunday, I got this black and yellow friggin' thing. Looks like Ronald McDonald's quad. I got this for $1,000. $1,000, and I have to fix his blaster for him. His blaster runs, it has no power. It's got a Chinese carburetor on it, guys. I don't know how much more I could beat this in your heads. Don't buy Chinese carburetors, all right? They just don't work. If you want one for like your lawnmower or something, have at it, you know. But it's got no power. He dropped it off to me yesterday. I'll give you guys a look at it in a little bit. It's kind of whooped, man. It's whooped. But you know, we'll take care of that. We'll get it running for him. So yeah, I got this quad for $1,000 and fix his blaster for him. He has the OEM carburetor that came off of it. He said the only reason that they changed it, and the quad ran great with the OEM carburetor. The only problem is that when you turn the fuel on, it pisses out at the overflow. So probably just needs to be cleaned. So I already ordered a rebuild kit for the OEM carburetor. I got to go get the carb from his house. And his house is like 11 minutes from mine. So I found this quad local. Anyway, If you're wondering, if you're going, damn, dude, $1,000, like you stole that thing. Well, here's the deal. Like, this one doesn't have a title, okay? I'll show you the other one that I got that I paid like, oh man, I forget. I think I got this other one for $1,600. This one here, I got it in the garage. This is our donor for parts. This one I paid more for because it has a title. So I know in some states where you guys probably live, like Wisconsin and California and Arizona and all that shit, quad with a title is not a shocking thing to find. But here in Jersey, let me tell you what, man, you'd be hard pressed to find a quad with a title in New Jersey. One, people just lose the shit. Two, nobody cares because you really can't register and insure and do anything with them here anyway. But I like to have the title. To me, it makes the quad worth more. So that's why I paid $1,600 for this one. I bought this a couple weeks ago with the hopes that I would find one that is running, that I could put the engine from this one onto this one, because the engine on this one, it is the guy ran it with no oil in it. So like you go to kickstart it and you could literally put all your weight on that Kickstarter and it ain't budging. But before we go swapping engines and all that stuff, you guys need to let me know in the comment section what you think. So my thoughts on the red one that the engine is seized on right now. You guys know the 450R, you have one side of the engine is for the engine oil and the other side is for the transmission fluid. So the transmission fluid on this quad it's all in there. It's topped off. It's fine. The oil side of it, there's still oil in it, but it probably ran low enough on oil to where the piston got so hot that the rings either seized to the cylinder or something like that. I think that's all that this quad can need. Obviously, it probably did some bearing damage and all that stuff, you know what I mean? But before we go yanking the engine out of the red one here, you guys, in the other video, I told you my friend had stopped the same day that we went and got this. On my way home with this, which was only 10 minutes away, he goes, yo, dude, I got my quad back. He had a 05 450R, so he had a bunch of work done to it. In here is a perfectly good cylinder with a Wiseco piston. All the stuff's in there, so maybe one day we get some spare time, I'll go ahead and mess around and pull the head off of this and the cylinder, and let's do a little dissecting and see what actually seized up on it, and then we'll find out. A couple other people were like, oh, bro, tow that thing behind a car and then kick it in gear and see if it breaks it free. I'm not the guy to do shit like that. One, if it breaks free and starts, I'm not going to ride it like that anyway, so what is the point to do that? Nor would you even get traction. Obviously, we could throw all the wheels on here, but, you know, we got these Mickey Thompson drag ETs on here. So, you know, you guys could probably never guess where and how this thing got ridden. You know, I'll give you another little hint. I don't know. I don't know dirt and sand that does that, but, you know, maybe it's just me. I don't know. Anyway, back to what I was saying, guys. You're probably thinking $1,000 for this. I stole this thing. Well, with that little problem where it's leaking oil, okay, the guy was still riding this quad. Now, if we come down here, get a little sneak peek at the oil, the sight glass for the oil level. Either it's crystal clear oil and it's full, or it's damn near empty. So, yeah, this is probably going to be an easy fix and the quad's going to be fine. But how many times was he riding this thing and it was too low on oil and damaged shit in the engine? So, you got to price this quad out as a parts quad, especially with no title. You know, do I think it's stolen? No, I don't think it's stolen. The guy's had it for quite a while. He obviously, well, I can't say he obviously cared about it because, for obvious reasons, but yes, it's spray painted. If somebody stole this quad, usually when people steal quads around here and then go ride them, they spray paint the whole thing one color. They don't take it apart, pull the engine, all that shit, and then paint everything individually. Which, I mean, guys, you guys have seen, I've spray painted frames in the past before, but, you know, when you prep them right and use the right materials and do it at the right temperature and take all the precautions and everything like that, they actually do hold up if you do it right. If you do it wrong, this is what you end up with. So, anyway, let's get into pulling that off and see if we can get it to seal, and then we'll go take this thing for a ride. And I'm going to ride this for a little bit. Like I said, I'm not going to just strip it down and, you know, gut it, you know, to put the parts on this one, because we will mess with this one and put the cylinder and piston that I have on it, if that's the issue. So don't forget, guys, let me know down in the comment section, what would your first route be that you would take with something like this in this situation? First things first, guys, let's take this oil filter cover off of here and see why it is not sealing and leaking oil out. It's probably a pinched O-ring or a worn O-ring. Whatever it is, we're getting this thing sealed up and we're riding this thing today. I'll tell you that right now. Mark my words. All right. These two bolts out of here. These are both 8mm. You got one short, one long. Put these down in this little pan down here, guys. This little this pan that I got under the quad. This thing is like 3 foot by 2 foot large. I got it at Advanced Auto last night. They were 14 or 15 bucks. Great tool to have. I can't take credit for finding that. If you guys watch Time Machines on YouTube, he mentioned where to find and purchase these pans. So I took his advice. That's one of the channels I watch. If you guys watch his channel too, let me know that in the comments, man. He's not really a Honda fan. He's more of a Yamaha guy, but, you know, he likes the classic Hondas like I do. You know, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Jared from Time Machines. Anyway, I like watching his videos, guys. Some of them are pretty funny. They're pretty funny. Pretty wild bunch there. Him and Blake, I believe his name is. Guy with the mullet. The old mullet wearer. I wonder if he drives an IROC Camaro or a Trans Am with T-tops, listening to some like Rat or Poison or something, you know? He's out there just getting it, throwing the shocker up. Anyway, all right, guys. We got an O-ring in here, but it doesn't even go past the friggin' aluminum in there, like to where it could even have a chance to seal. So, watch, this thing only need an O-ring, guys. O-ring for this. All right. Oh, those parts that my friend dropped off that I just showed you guys are in the box. He also gave me a complete Nomura, which I am not a fan of Nomura, guys, but in this case, just for a rubber O-ring, I'll go ahead and take a chance and use that. Those are, to me, they're just a waste of, they're a waste of money. Hence the reason why the guy that worked on his quad gave these back to him, because you just, you know, I'm not a fan, guys. I'm not a fan of the Nomura stuff. Their pistons, yeah, they're freaking trash. Yes, their Nomura pistons are trash. A lot of people that buy stuff like that probably just put it in without checking ring gap or the end gap or anything. That's probably why you see a lot of them all shattered, but, you know, it's junk, man. Garbage shit. Anyway, all right. I'm not going to put premium like Bell Ray fluids in this thing like I normally choose to do, just in case we're still leaking. I don't want to waste that stuff, so I went and picked up some like generic conventional oil for now, 10W40. So after this, I'm going to double check the trans fluid and top that off if need be, and then if we can get this thing to seal, I'm pretty confident we probably can, so stay tuned. All right, we cracked open this Nomura gasket, complete gasket set. We got the O-ring that we need. We go with this one here. Go ahead and take our pick. I'm sure this part's real entertaining for you guys. You know, this is a secret of the pros here, how to take a rubber O-ring out, you know, which obviously I still can't do. All right, there we go. All right, so let's take a look at this one that came off of here, guys. It's very, very thin. Here's the one that's going to go in it. It's a lot thicker. It's not all squashed down and everything, so this should take care of our issue right here. Could it be that simple? I sure hope so, because I don't feel like doing anything else right now. All right. Dang. So there we go, guys. Now you can see it actually sticks up over the aluminum. The other one didn't even protrude from it at all. So These only go in one way. You guys can see that the bolt holes, they're not perfectly across from each other. Reason being, you have 2 oil galleries here where the oil comes through the filter to end, or maybe it comes out here, either way. And it pumps oil into these and goes through the veins in the case and everything like that. So let me get this stuff out of the way and we'll bolt this on, throw some fluid in it, and we'll start her up. Success! We got it. No leaky. No more leaky. So this thing fires right up, guys. I just rode it around the block real quick and it's breaking up like a motherfucker, you know what I mean? So I'll load you guys onto the helmet cam and yeah, let's go take it for a ride and we'll see if we can figure out why it's doing that too. Guys, I just remembered the other day when I was washing this thing, I put an airbox lid on it, and this quad had no airbox lid on it when I got it. So maybe the breaking up was from that, but I guess we will find out right now. Let's go take this thing for a rip, guys. Hopefully that's all it was. All right, let's go. Be a little cold too. Yeah, that's definitely probably what it was. It wasn't doing that a minute ago. Yeah, she's a ripper. She is a ripper. Carburetor's a little dirty, guys. I'm going to take it off and clean it anyway. So they got the front wheels on this thing flipped. So they got the deeper dish out. You can see the calipers sticking out if you guys can see that in the camera. So it's got a little funky steering. Yes, you can make your quad wider that way, but you're gonna lose some geometry. Yeah, it was the airbox lid for sure. This thing rips. Still boggy a little bit. Definitely going to clean the carb, guys. Don't forget, we do have the other parts like, so. Yeah, it's got some torque, that's for sure. Oh, okay. I guess I spoke too soon. Hold on, guys. I hope I'm not stuck out here. All right, guys. So I'm in the same spot still. I actually had a phone call, so this is why the quad shut off. Ready? Here's why. The key is over here. You notice I have about 3 pounds of friggin' keys on here. So what had happened was when I hit a bump, it knocked and turned the key off. That's all that happened, man. So let me put you guys back on the helmet, and yeah, we'll ride this thing back to the house. We'll talk for a second, and then I'll piece you guys out. Stay tuned. All right, let's get this thing back to the house, and then oh yeah, I think I told you guys I would show you how I use that aluminum brightener on chrome or whatever. Anyway, here we go. If it'll start. Ooh, this thing's got compression. What the fuck is going on now? right, guys, so there you go, man. You gotta, like I said, be out there, be looking for shit, man. There's still deals out there. I'm not gonna rip the engine off of this one yet to put on that one. I want to get it running completely 100% tip top. It's a little boggy with the throttle. The car's probably dirty. The jetting's probably a little screwy. But she runs, man. She runs like a motherfucker right now. So, you know, tune a couple of those things out, probably be even better, obviously. All right, guys, so that's gonna do it for today's video. Cleaning the FMF exhaust. I ordered a I bought that exhaust secondhand for a reason. It has 2 dents in it, like on the inside where the expansion tank is like up by the frame in the engine, so you don't even see them anyway. But I ordered one of those kits where you can repair expansion tanks. Well, I didn't order it yet, so let me not say I ordered it. I was looking at them. For some of you guys know that I'm a plumber. I'm just gonna make my own kit. All it is something you seal it with, and you can put pressure in through like a Schrader valve, like for a tire or a wheel. So I'm gonna make my own kit, but that's gonna be a video in itself. So we'll do the repairing the dings in it, or the 2 dents that are in it, and we'll clean it up and get that thing looking like brand new. So we'll do that in its own video. That's also for the Trx250R, so it really has nothing to do with these 2 quads in this video anyway, even though these are TRXs as well. But if you notice, I brought the quad back into the garage because I'm going to tinker around with this on my own time for a little bit. I have other sets of plastics. I really don't think red on the yellow frame is going to look that great, but who knows, man. I do have a set of black plastics too that are extra. I want to take those stupid cut fenders off. Like, if you're going to do that, you might as well just take them off the damn quad. Like, seriously, just does nothing. And I think it looks like shit with those on there. You know, I am a cut fender type of guy, but on these 450Rs, you can unbolt them off of there, just like I have on the white quad, the white 450. So I'm going to do that on my own time, guys. I'm going to clean some of this stuff off of here. I do have an extra gas tank anyway, but yeah, I want to put a light or something on this thing so I can ride it at night. And yeah, that's it. Also, I found out why it's still running a little shitty. I pulled it in here and didn't shut the gas off, and it was pissing out the bottom, so it's definitely drowning itself out. So if you're not riding the piss out of it and you're just putting around or something, which I don't know why you'd be just putting around on one of these, but that's why it's still running shitty. So like I said, I'm going to pull the carb off of this thing. I'm going to clean it. I want to take that wrap off of the exhaust that's on here too, because it looks like shit. Also, the exhaust that's on this thing, it looks like it is a power bomb or mega bomb, one of those. So also with those parts that my friend gave me, he gave me this Leo Vince exhaust, and it has this really cool looking carbon fiber clamp on it. So maybe we'll play around with that a little bit and change some stuff up. I also have a ton of aftermarket parts for the head, all kibble white, all brand new in the box. I got those secondhand. Somebody bought them and never used them. So I also have a full Curtis Sparks exhaust for one of these. So yeah, we'll mess around with this a little bit, get it looking better, and then I'll catch you guys in the next video in the next day or so. I got to make a video on our next sponsor, Auxito Lights. We're going to put a set of their Auxito LED bulbs in the Ford Escape back there. We'll do one side, we'll leave the other side stock, and then we'll get a comparison and see how much difference it is and all that stuff. So that'll be a video in itself. I got to bang that out this week too. So I'll see you guys in the garage next time. Don't forget, I read and answer every single one of my comments. If you guys have not subscribed yet, you can see by the thumbnail, we got a ton of stuff for content for you guys. Yeah, drop a comment. Let me know what you think about putting piston and cylinder on the other red 450R. Do you think that's what's seized in it? Who knows? I guess we'll find out. Drop a comment, guys. I will answer you pretty quickly, too. So usually within the same day, if not the same 10 minutes. So thanks for joining me in the garage, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace! Just when you think the day's over, I just did a trade. I'm not going to tell you what I got, but if you made it this far in the video, go down in the comments section. Even if you put a comment on something else we talked about, here's your hint what we got. Right? Widowmaker. Down in the comment section. If you know what that is, you know what kind of motorcycle, trike, quad, bike, whatever you want to call it is, don't write what it is. Just write Widowmaker down there. Be here tomorrow, so we'll get a good look at that. And yes, it runs, so I don't know what I'm gonna do with that engine. Stay tuned.